Hello, welcome back everyone to episode 4 of my review of the Hearthstone Perils in Paradise Hearthstone expansion. We'll be looking a little bit more at new cards, and today we have a really cool legendary and some unexpected synergies that you might not quite be aware of. And we're going to start out with a 4-mana 5/4 beast. It's called Carryon Grub. It's a neutral card, so it can be played in any deck, and its battle cry: get a 1-cost suitcase, pack the top 2 cards of your deck into it. So what happens is you play this card, and the top 2 cards of your deck will be shown to you. They'll be put in a suitcase, which is a 1-mana card that you can open, and you add these 2 cards to your hand. And effectively, you can spend 5 mana on a 5/4 and getting 2 cards to your hand. So it's a kind of a 5 mana 5/4 that lets you draw 2 cards. But because you knew what's in the suitcase, you can only open the suitcase whenever you need those cards. And this is, I think, where this card could really shine and really be amazing, is this is Dirty Rat Protection. Because the suitcase is actually a spell. It's a 1-mana spell that just gives you 2 cards. And if you play something like Odin Warrior, for example, and you always lose if you get ratted on your Odin, and some deck strategies might literally just be to rat your Odin, or rat your Sif, or rat your 1 key card. If you manage to put your key card into the suitcase, you can actually beat control decks that are trying to dirty rat you or disrupt your combos or whatever, because you can't actually disrupt the suitcase. So I think this is a really interesting card, and I actually think mostly a 4-mana 5/4 that, or a 5-mana 5/4 that draws 2 cards is like so and so. But that you only have to spend the mana for the drawn cards when you really need them, I think is really neat. Because you don't lose quite as much tempo as if you would be paying 5 mana for a 5/4. That 4 mana for a 5 was like quite reasonable. You don't lose that much tempo. And you have the Dirty Rat Protection. So I actually think there's a good chance that this will be played in Hearthstone. Again, 4 mana 5/4 beast, Carryon Grub, takes the top 2 cards of your deck, shows them to you, and puts them into a spell in your hand. Then we have Patches the Pilot, which is a 1-mana 1/1 Demon Pirate. It's a Demon Hunter card, and it's a legendary, so it can only be a one-off. And its battle cry: shuffle 6 parachutes into your deck that summon a 1/1 pirate with charge when drawn. So it's a 1-mana card called Parachute. It's cast when drawn, so you draw the card, it casts it, and then draws another card, and it summons a 1-mana 1/1 pirate. This card's obviously amazing. Like, you play this on 1 and you get 7 1/1s, 6 of them with charge over the course of the game, and you can like immediately play them. Then it has additional synergy with cards like Momentum. For example, if you draw this and then you draw another card, your momentum is already reduced by 2 because you've drawn multiple cards in a turn. So it has like mega synergy with card draw synergy that already exists in Demon Hunter. I mean, it's a bunch of 1/1s that you can trade in that clear the board. The only downside, I think, of this card for Demon Hunter is that it ruins a little bit of the current Demon Hunter discovery chances, because this is a demon, so you can discover this from the Shopper. If you think about Shopper DH, Shopper is a 5-mana 6/5 that you can also reduce by 2 with the Umbral weapon, which says in its miniaturized, it gives you a demon in your hand. You could discover a demon, and you set the cost in the stat equal to this one. So what Demon Hunter tries to do a lot is they try to discover for like 3 or 5 mana some really big demons that are like 6/5, doesn't help you a lot. And for 1 mana from the miniaturized, you just try to discover Pterodon, which is a dormant minion that deals 3 damage to your opponent's minions and face at the end of their turn. So it's a lot about everything in this deck is a little bit about discovering Pterodon and discovering synergy cards. And Patch the Pilot is probably not a card that you want to discover. Like, sure, you get the chargers in your deck, which is kind of nice, but then again, usually you spend some time and some tempo to get this 5-mana 6/5 online, so want an immediate payback from it, and this is not immediate payoff, so this is not immediately good for you. But So yes, I think this card is overall weakening the Shopper Demon Hunter archetype, but as a standalone card in Demon Hunter, I feel like this should be an auto-include in every deck, and I think this card is absolutely amazing. We'll see if there's some like issues with board spaces and stuff like that, but since they don't have Rush, they actually have Charge, I think this should definitely be good enough. Really awesome card. And then we have 3 mana 2/3 Mixologist, which is a neutral card, so can be played in any deck. Battlecry, craft a custom 1 mana potion. And the 1 mana potions are, if you remember Kazakus, which used to be a 4 mana 3/3 card, that worked if you had no duplicates in your deck, and you could just craft a 1, 5, or 10 mana potion together from different effects, and this is the same thing. You get to craft a potion, but this time you're not given the choice which mana cost. It is always 1 mana. And the effects are summoning a 2/2 demon, adding a random demon to your hand, drawing a card, giving you minions +2 health, freezing a random enemy minion, dealing 2 damage to all minions, including your own, gaining 4 armor, dealing 3 damage, summoning friendly minion that died this game. Yeah, those are the effects, and you get to put 2 of them together. And I think it's one of the first and one of the second row. So you get to put one of them together. Like, especially summoning a friendly minion that died this game for 1 mana with maybe deal 3 is a lot of tempo. And it comes with a 3 mana 2/3. Pretty interesting card. Like I said, it's a neutral card, so it can technically be played with anything, especially the effect of giving everything... Like, you summon a friendly minion, and then you give all your minions +2 health. Can be really interesting in a lot of decks. But I think there's probably better Hearthstone cards out there. I think Hearthstone is power crapped enough that this effect is probably not one that sees play. I think Hearthstone is more about synergy than individually good cards, unless the cards are broken. And I think this card is not broken, and it doesn't fulfill any like immediate synergy. So Mixologist today is going to be the first pass of the day. Then we have a 4 mana 1/8 Mega Beast, and it's another neutral card, and it deals octuple damage to minions. So it deals 8 damage. When it has 1 attack, when it's 2 attack, it deals 16. So unless there's some crazy combo where you make a minion on your opponent's board deal damage to their face, or you like... what you could play, there's this a 2 mana card. It was actually nerfed. There's always a bigger Jumonger, which is a hunter card, which gives a minion +2 attack, and access damage hits the opponent. So if you're able to give Octomassage Rush, because it's a beast, maybe you could give this Rush somehow, because it's a beast, like with, for example, the Bunny Stomper card, or some other cool stuff like this. So I think this is a hidden synergy, where, for example, you could hand buff this card in Hunter as well, with the Starving Buzzard. And then if you rush this, and you give this always a bigger Jumonger, if this deals like 36 damage to a minion and access damage hits the opponent's face, maybe you can OTK someone. And I don't think this is super unrealistic to happen, because if it's actually octuple damage and you buff this like +2 attack and rush and +2 attack from the always bigger Jumonger, that's 40 damage to a minion. That should be an OTK. We're gonna have to wait a little bit, and this is something that we should heavily discuss in the comments. Do you think it should work? Do you think it should actually deal like 40 damage to a minion and the rest should go face? Or should the damage calculation be done first and no face damage be dealt? So let's say if something had 5 HP. What do you think? How is this going to work? I will definitely ask Blizzard. And I will actually start again with this card in the next review video, so stay tuned for it, because I will go back to Blizzard and ask them all effects about this card. How will this interact with rushing and always a bigger Jumonger? Can you actually OTK with this? And I'll be back with that special info for you next time, so stay tuned for this. Thank you for making it through the video, and always remember that you're valuable and you matter. I'll see you around.